Welcome back to the deep dive. Last time, we really got into the weeds with the extra deck mechanism from Boost's Series 8. That was a serious workout.
Oh, it was dense, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that kind of advanced stuff, it can sometimes make the game feel a bit impenetrable if you're just starting out.
Exactly. It's easy to get lost in the high-level strategy before you've even got the basics down.
A very common trap.
So today, we're hitting the reset button. Our mission is foundational. We're doing a core rules tutorial for the Cookierun, Braverse card game.
Yep.
So if you're new, or you're just trying to figure out what's happening in a stream you're watching, this is the session for you.
We're stripping it all back, no jargon.
Yeah.
We're even going to use some simple anchors, like thinking of a turn as a cookies day,
Yeah.
to make it all feel intuitive.
I like that.
Our goal isn't just to tell you the rules, but to give you the confidence to, go out and try for your first win.
Okay, let's do it. So starting at the very, very beginning, the most important question in any game about how do you actually win?
It's a great place to start because the answer really defines what kind of deck you should be building. There are two main ways to win, and you only need to hit one of them.
All right, give me the main one, the direct aggressive route.
That's what you'll see in, I'd say, over 90% of games. We call it star accumulation. It's pretty simple. When you defeat an opponent's cookie, it goes to their break area.
Okay.
And every cookie has a level, or LV.
Yeah.
You win the game instantly the moment the total LV of all the cookies in your opponent's break area adds up to 10 or more.
LV 10. That's a really clear target. It's not about life points. It's about taking out their key players. It just screams, be aggressive.
It totally rewards constant pressure. But what if your opponent is really good at protecting their high LV units? Well, that's where you might have to pivot to path number 2.
The more subtle path.
The resource depletion path. This is the long game, the attrition player's dream.
How does that work?
You win if, on your opponent's turn, they have nothing left. Specifically, they have no cookies on their battle area.
Empty field.
And crucially, no cookies in their hand that they can legally play. They've got no troops, no reinforcements. Game over. You win.
That's so interesting. So you can have these two completely different styles clashing. One deck is just racing to that LV10.
Exactly.
And the other is like a control deck just trying to empty the opponent's hand and board, making the whole LV race totally irrelevant.
That's the beauty of it. You can have these quick, explosive matches or these slow, tactical grindouts. Both are perfectly viable ways to win.
Okay, so we know our goal. Either LV10 or total exhaustion. Now, what are the tools we're working with? The 60-card deck.
Right, the Baker's 4 treasures, as we call them. There are 4 essential card types.
Let's start with the most obvious one.
That would be the cookie cards. These are your characters, your army. They do the attacking, they do the defending. They're the core of the game.
Simple enough. What's next?
Then you have item cards. Think of these as like single-use power-ups.
A quick snack.
A quick snack. Perfect. They give you immediate boost, maybe more attack power, maybe you draw a card. But the key rule is you can only use them on your turn. And once you use them, poof, they go to the trash.
Okay, so a short-term, high-impact play. Now for the really interesting one, the counterplay cards. Traps.
Ah, trap cards. Yeah, this is where the mind games begin. These cards are all about risk. The main restriction is you cannot use them on your own turn.
So they're purely reactive.
Purely reactive. You can only play one the moment your opponent declares an attack against you.
And what do? Cancel the attack?
They can, yeah. They can cancel it, weaken the attacker, or even deal damage right back at them. It turns every attack into a gamble for your opponent.
So you can't just stack them up, like play 3 traps on 1 attack.
Nope, that's the other key limit. A maximum of 1 trap card per attack. You have to choose your best response for that specific moment. It keeps things balanced.
That's a great check on their power. Okay, and the last treasure.
Stage cards. These are your long-term investments. They represent the environment. When you play a stage card, it stays on the field and changes the rules of the game for both players until someone removes it.
So if items are a snack, stages are like remodeling the whole kitchen.
That is a perfect analogy. Yes.
Cookies, items, traps, stages.
Got it. Now, where do all these cards go? Let's talk about the board, the different zones.
Right. We can group the 6 areas into 3 functional zones. Let's start with the most important one, what I call the engine room.
The engine room.
This is where you generate all your resources. It's your deck, your hand, and the most important area of all, the support area.
Okay, let's spend some time on the support area. Why is it so vital? It's basically your energy supply, right?
It is, and it's the game's core strategic choice. Every single turn, you can take one card from your hand, any card, and place it face up into your support area.
Just one per turn. Just one. And these cards are now your energy. To play other cards or to attack, you have to turn these support cards sideways or tap them. So if something costs 3 energy, you tap 3 cards.
So this isn't some abstract mana. I'm literally taking a card I could have played and sacrificing it to become energy for a bigger play later.
That is the decision every single turn. Do I use this card now, or do I invest it in my support area to fuel something huge next turn? Without a good support area, your best cards are useless.
It dictates your whole pace. Okay, engine room is sorted. What's the next zone?
The main stage. That's just the battle area. It's where your cookies are, where all the fighting happens.
Right.
And you can only have a maximum of 2 cookies there at a time, which keeps the combat really focused.
2 cookies. Okay. And the last zone. The final destination for cards.
The end of the story zone. This is just the trash and the break area. The trash is your normal discard pile for used up items and traps.
And the break area?
The break area is where defeated cookies go. And as we said, that's where you're counting up to LV10 for that primary win condition.
Okay, the layout is clear. Now, before we even get to attacking, there's a really unique part of the setup, the way HP works.
Yes, the setup is super fast. You get your 60-card deck, decide who goes first, draw 6 cards, and secretly put 1 cookie face down in your battle area. But then comes the big moment.
Setting the health points. Walk me through this.
So both players flip their starting cookies over at the same time. You look at the printed HP on the card. Let's say it's HP 5.
Okay, HP 5.
You then have to count out 5 cards from the top of your deck and slide them face down underneath that cookie card. Those 5 cards are now its health.
Wow. Okay, so that's the resource conflict right there. My HP isn't a number on a dial. It's made of cards I might have wanted to draw later.
Exactly. It's the absolute genius of the design. Every card in your deck is both a future option and your current survival. Every time you draw cards, you're getting closer to running out of HP for the next cookie you play.
So if I start with a really tough cookie, say it has HP 7, I'm immediately losing 7 potential cards from my deck just to be tanky at the start.
It's a massive trade-off. You give up deck size and future options for early game safety. A high HP deck might feel secure, but it can burn out and lose to resource depletion if the game drags on.
That's brilliant. The very first action you take is a huge strategic decision. Okay, so the game is set up. Let's walk through a turn.
We could use the Cookies A analogy. It's a simple 5-phase cycle.
Let's hear it.
Phase 1 is the activity phase. Or waking up, all your tapped horizontal cards, your cookies that attacked, your used energy, they all turn back to their vertical active state.
Okay, everything's refreshed. Phase 2.
The draw phase. Breakfast,
Yeah.
you draw 2 cards from your deck, but here's a huge balancing rule.
Uh-oh.
The player who goes first completely skips the draw phase on their very first turn.
Whoa, hold on. So going first costs you 2 cards right out of the gate. That's a massive deal for card advantage.
It is. You get the first chance to build your support area to set the tempo, but you pay for it by starting with fewer resources in hand.
Okay, that's a really interesting balance point. What's phase 3?
The support phase. Saving up. This is your one chance during the turn to put a card from your hand into the support area.
Why, building that engine.
Then comes phase 4, the main phase.
Yeah.
Doing big things. This is where it all happens. You can take as many actions as you can afford. Play items, deploy cookies, and of course attack.
So to attack, I just tap my cookie and the energy in my support area to pay the cost.
Correct. You tap the cookie, you tap the energy, and the attack is declared.
And there's another restriction for the first player here too, isn't there?
Yes, another big one. The first player is also not allowed to attack on their first turn.
So turn 1 is purely setup.
Purely setup. Build your support, play a second cookie, maybe a stage card. This gives the second player a full turn to respond and set up defenses before any punches are thrown.
Man, they really thought about the first turn advantage. So the first player gets tempo, the second gets card advantage, and a free turn is set up. I like that. Phase 5.
The end phase. Clocking out. You just declare your turn is over and pass to your opponent. Activity, draw, support, main, end. That's the rhythm.
Okay, so we know how to attack. Now let's talk about what happens when an attack lands. This is where the game gets really dramatic with the FLP mechanism.
Right. So say your cookie takes 3 damage. You just take the top 3 face-down HP cards from underneath it and put them in the trash. They're gone.
Simple enough. Your life pool gets smaller, but the magic happens as they're being flipped over.
That's the FLP. If any of those 3 cards you're discarding has the FLP keyword on it, its effect triggers immediately. Instantly.
And this can be anything, right?
Oh, yeah. It could heal the damage you just took, it could let you draw cards, or the best one, it could launch a surprise counterattack. Your defense just became your offense.
The entire game can just turn on a dime from one lucky flip. It makes every attack feel so risky because you never know what you're going to trigger.
It keeps you on your toes, for sure. But because it's so powerful, there's a strict deck-building rule. You can only have a maximum of 16 cards with the FLIP keyword in your 60-card deck.
16. That's a really tight number. It basically forces you to make a choice about your whole deck's philosophy.
It really does.
Are you going to be a gambler and pack your 16 slots with the most powerful game-winning FLIP effects you can find?
Or do you become the engineer and maybe only use a few simple FLIPs that draw you a card, and instead rely on high HP cookies and consistent board control?
The gambler versus the engineer. I love that. So what happens when a cookie finally runs out of all its HP cards?
It faints, it's defeated, and moves over to the opponent's break area, adding its LV to their total.
And your battle area spot is now empty?
For a moment. But the game keeps the action flowing. If a spot opens up, you can immediately play a new cookie from your hand to fill it, even during your opponent's turn.
Oh, that's important. It keeps the pressure on. The board doesn't just empty out.
Never. Not unless someone wins through resource depletion.
This has been an amazing breakdown. So to recap, we have two ways to win: the LV10 race or running your opponent dry.
4 card types: cookies, items, traps, and stages, all interacting across the different zones, with that all-important support area acting as your engine.
And we really dug into the game's core tension. Your deck is also your life total, which all comes to a head with that 5-phase turn structure.
And the high-drama FLIP mechanism, limited to just those 16 crucial slots in your deck.
The structure really is elegant. It has so much strategic depth, but the FLIP mechanic makes it exciting and, approachable even if you're new.
It's a perfect balance of high strategy and high drama. A really, really well-designed system.
So now that you understand the rules, we want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. We talked about that 16-card limit on FLIP effects.
As you sit down to build your first deck, which way are you going to lean? Are you going to build a control deck, using those precious FLIP slots to heal and survive so you can win the long game?
Or are you going to stuff those slots with damage and counterattacks, turning every hit you take into a punishment while you race for that LV10 victory?
The answer to that question, that's your personal path to victory.
Go discover what kind of card runner you are. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive into the fundamentals. We'll catch you next time.